Welcome, one and all. It's Game 7 here in Jamestown. The Batavia Muckdogs on the road taking on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in tonight's evening matchup. And this is an important one. 1 and 2 seed. The 1 seed now belonging to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks within the West Division. Batavia now at the 2 spot, coming in to Jamestown for the lead back within the West Division. Both teams within half a game of each other, and it all comes down to this one. Game 7 on the line. These two teams share a record. Well, Batavia, should I say, has a record of 3-2-1 against Jamestown, but Jamestown looking to tie things up and extend their lead within the West Division, and it's time for Batavia to play spoiler in tonight's matchup. We're going to take it really quick here through the lineup, and for Batavia, the first three, center fielder Jalen David, third baseman Jackson Nimden, left fielder Evan Brock. For Jamestown, center fielder Grant Moore, designated hitter Eric Weeks, and first baseman Nolan Smith. Continuing with Jamestown for the next four, left fielder Anthony Tromer, extra hitter Joe Quan Rodriguez Costa, right fielder CJ Dugan, third baseman Caleb Jordan. For Batavia, it's Brandon Reyna, right fielder, second baseman Cooper Russell, designated hitter Glenn Brooks, first baseman James Quintero. Continue with Jamestown. We'll go back to them. Wrong sport. Catcher Heath Fetchick, shortstop Jackson Enders, second baseman Tito Kiefer, extra hitter Miles Manel, catcher Luke Rumchinsky, and extra hitter Jaden Vasquez. And on the mound for Batavia, Eric Woodley, and on the other side, Rocco Almonte for Jamestown. I'm trying to take you so quick because I'm up here in the booth by myself today. And you know, few hands doesn't make as light work. As the first pitch is strike one against Jalen David. Apologies for moving so quickly through that, but just trying to give you every bit of information before we get started. At least what I think you need to know. But it's strike one against Jalen David back down in the box. Ball one outside. In the top of the first. Actually going to move that back up to the top left. I feel like that would be a better spot. So 1-1 count. That's driven foul. 1-2. But again, thank you for joining our broadcast today. My name is Grayson Natale. Alongside me, Jarrett is absent today. So it's just me, a lone broadcast on the road. Batavia Muckdogs taking on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. So you won't have Jalen David swinging on that. 2-2. Two count for Jalen David. And he's going to get underneath that. It's going over to center. Right where Grant Moore's hanging out, though. Doesn't need to move, and it's one out. So with one out, it brings up number 2, third baseman Jackson Inman. Jackson Inman on the season. Statistically, the best hitter for the Muckdogs, a .419 batting average across 93 at-bats, 32 runs, 39 hits, 25 RBIs off 56 total bases. But one out in his first plate appearance, he'll take ball one outside. Jackson Inman, native of Damascus, Maryland, College of Richmond University. He's in at 6'2", 200 pounds, as that's inside for ball two. Again, on the mound, though, on the opposite side, we're looking at Jamestown. That's Rocco Almonte, verse 17, as he's got the starting nod for Jamestown. A 2-0 count. Almonte set, delivers to Inman. And too high, not able to punch that in the top left window. That's where he was looking. It's a quick 3-0 count. Almonte, 11.37 ERA on the season with a 1-0 record as he deals ball 4 inside for Inman. So ball 4 gives Inman first base, and it brings up left fielder number 11, Evan Brock. And if we look on Evan Brock's stats, he's sitting 4th in terms of batting average for Batavia, 3.55. He was absent from last night's game, taking a day off, but 110 at-bats, leading Batavia in that metric. 21 runs scored, 39 hits, 42 RBIs, which is a team high, not to mention a league high as well. 55 total bases. That's ball 1. Evan Brock's 42 RBIs, still ahead of Rivera from the Amsterdam Mohawks, 39 RBIs, so a lead at 3 coming in today. Eric Weeks has closed the gap. He's 37 for Jamestown, 3rd in that leaderboard. In there for strike 1 on the low end. It's a 1-1 count. But again, we'll turn our attention back to Almonte. Almonte, the 11.37 ERA, a 1-0 record across 6 appearances. He's only served 6 1/3 innings with 12 hits, a pickoff attempt over at first, no good. But again, 12 hits, 10 runs, 8 of those being earned, and only 2 strikeouts. 2 strikeouts on the season. He's got a tough opponent to go against, and being the number 2 in the West Division, Batavia Muckdogs. And that won't add to the strike total, but the hit total as he hits Evan Brock on the 1-1 count. Evan Brock now on first, and Inman advancing to second. So it leads up to the cleanup man in the batting order, right fielder number 46, Braden Reyna. So 1 out, fresh count. Trying to glance over Inman, the shortstop back in position as Reyna will swing on the first pitch. It's going foul. So 0-1. But Reyna comes in today, 3rd statistically in batting average at 3.85. I say statistically because he's only had 13 at-bats, being a newcomer for the Muckdogs in their lineup. But 13 at-bats, 3.85 batting average. 2 runs, 5 hits, one of those being a double, 8 RBIs, and 6 total bases, as that's outside for ball 1. 1-1 count as it stands right now. One deals going foul. So 1-2 for Reyna. And now Monty still in search of his first strikeout. It's 1-2. He'll drive that on a bloop over to third, and the third baseman overruns it. It just sits within the infield dirt, and Reyna reaching first off it. Over for Jamestown, it was Caleb Jordan cutting off the shortstop, Jackson Enders, and he tried to just barehand it, and he just overran the ball completely, allowing Reyna to safely just take first base in the blink of an eye. Easy as that. If you give it to them, why not take it? And he does there. Bases are now loaded for the Muckdogs, and it brings up second baseman number 1, Cooper Russell. Cooper Russell on the season comes in today with a 3.44 batting average, 64 plate appearances, 31 runs, 22 hits, as he fouls the first pitch off. But again, 31 runs, 22 hits, 15 RBIs, and 27 total bases. So the foul ball makes it strike 1. So 0-1 fouled off to the backstop. Do it again. 0-2 though. So again, that's one notable thing. Just off camera behind you is a very large backstop in a full range where this ball can go. So any wild pitch is something that could easily result in typically more than one base if it does get that far away. But an 0-2 count deals home and inside for ball one. Cooper Russell, Lakewood, Ohio native, recent commit to Brown University, standing at 5'7", 760 pounds, just coming out of high school, and he's made a huge impact in his first year with the Muckdogs. With a 1-2 count, and forget that, it's a hit by pitch right off the shoulders, and that's an easy run to be brought in for the Muckdogs. So it's a 1-0 lead for Batavia here in the top of the first, courtesy of Almonte. So coming in to score is Jackson Inman. Evan Brock advances to third, Reyna to second, and Cooper Russell now standing on first. Now to bat, designated hitter, and a name that you haven't heard in quite some time on the broadcast, not with an injury attached to him, but it's Glenn Brooks. He's back in the lineup, not out there on defense, though, as they're trying to bring him back slowly. Ball one gets away from the catcher. He can't see it. In comes the plate, not in time. Evan Brock comes in for the score, and he's safe. Everyone able to advance and make it 2-0 for Batavia early on. A little slow reaction from both the pitcher and the catcher. It only seemed like Glenn Brooks knew what was going on there. It gets away from Fetchick, and he doesn't see it, and a late reaction from Almonte to tell his guy, hey, you don't know where the baseball is, watch the runner, and Evan Brock takes notice and easily comes in on home, doesn't need a slide at all. But 2-0 is the score as that's fouled off, so it pushes the count to 1-1. But second and third now covered by Muckdogs. Russell on second, Reyna on third. And again, Glenn Brooks, following his hamstring injury, he was out for quite some time. He's now day-to-day, and they're going to bring him in slowly just as a designated hitter for today's matchup. And that's going to go through the gap between first and second, all the way out to right field. In comes Reyna, and held up is Russell at third. It'll put runners on the corners, but Glenn Brooks, welcome back, an RBI single to start off his day. It's now 3-0 in Batavia's favor, only in the top of the first alone. How about that for opening things up? Only one out, and we're already on to the seventh man in the batting lineup. It's first baseman number 16, James Quintero. Quintero on the season, a .297 batting average. Swinging on a ball that had him going chasing is down in the dirt. But 0-1. Quintero, again, the .297 batting average across 64 plate appearances. He's recorded 11 runs to his name with 19 hits, with a good mixture of doubles, triples, home runs, as that's a pickoff attempt to get Brooks off first base. That won't succeed. But again, 14 RBIs and on 28 total bases. And we'll turn our attention back to first base, Glenn Brooks. Pickoff attempt for a good reason. He's got 27 on the season. As that's outside, gets away from the catcher, and that's going to be a free base for Cooper Russell. He comes in on home, and Glenn Brooks standing on second. 4-0 for Batavia, just like that. So count 1-1 off the wild pitch. Allows Cooper Russell to come on home. And on top of that, Glenn Brooks on second. Time called by Fetchick. He wants to talk things over with Almonte. But I'll go back to the topic I was addressing was Glenn Brooks. 27 stolen bases on the season. In that metric, he's very familiar with being mentioned as he's second within the league. And he's been out for quite some time. Only 26 games played, 27 stolen bases. He's averaging at least a stolen base per game. and he's the only player on the list besides Jalen David within the top 5 to have that metric. Jalen David, of course, being the only guy ahead of him with 34 stolen bases across 30 games played. But a 1-1 count back at home plate. And a swing and a miss for Quintero. It's 1-2. Another low one. Quintero went swinging on the first pitch, again, that being low. So let's see if that little discussion was from Fetchick to try to get Quintero to swing on another. He got one. We'll see if he does it a second. But a 1-2 count, 1 out. Glenn Brooks, no one's covering second. We'll see if he goes. He doesn't. 1-2 outside. Again, Quintero, hometown native of Northridge, California, from Panoma Pitzers Colleges. 2-2 deal. Drilled back. Telmonte gets by him. It's a slow roller to the shortstop. Collect the throw. Will be out. Quintero advances Glenn Brooks, though, over to third. So a little out of the range for Almonte to make a play, but behind him to his right is Jackson Enders to close in, make a play on the run. It brings up 2 outs. An extra hitter, number 8, Miles Manel, up to bat. Manel in the season at a .319 batting average. As that's over his head and all the way to the backstop. A play at the plate is not even contested. Glenn Brooks beating that one out by a wide range. And it's now 5-0 for Batavia. How about that to open things up? As the bases are now cleared, no one's on with Manel up to bat. 2 outs, a 1-0 count as that one gets entirely away from everything. It took a good bounce off the backstop to maybe give Fetchick a chance, but not enough as Glenn Brooks just jogged on home, and that's fouled off for a 1-1 count. So Almonte just trying to bring an end to a very surprising end from Batavia to open things up, as that's foul. 1-2. I don't know how to put it. I'd like to say I'm not surprised, but I am, just because of how quickly they're able to just find their footing here in Jamestown. You got to give where credit's due. It's just got to be part of the game plan, as I didn't have the chance to overhear the talks on the bus. As that's set high to center, shallow center to be specific, at Grant Moore. Underneath it for Jamestown for the third and final out. So, top of the first, out of it is the Jamestown defense, but not without a huge hole that they've quickly dug. Down 5 just to start things out. So we'll stay on air for this one as well, just to go over a little bit of what I wanted to say before we had this matchup, but as well to take you first through the Batavia defense. So Batavia looking on who's where. We got some unique surprises, and I'm more talking about the mound, but again, we'll cover that in this separate graphic. But first, always looking at the defense. Going right out to outfield for some reason, but it's Eric Woodley on the mound. Luke Brimchinsky at catcher. James Quintero at first. Cooper Russell second. Jaden Vasquez over at short. And Jackson Inman at third. For your outfield, it will be Evan Brock, Jalen David, and Braden Reyna left to right. But again, we'll take our closer look at the man of the hour. It's Eric Woodley, his first start, a man that you usually hear as your closer. He's getting the starting nod today to try to get the engine going and give some guys a break. Eric Woodley, though, University of Lenore Rhine, junior over there, hometown of Rochester, New York. Throws right-handed, standing at 6'3", 205 pounds. Comes in with a 1.85 ERA, allowing 19 hits, 8 runs, 5 of those being earned across 24 1/3 innings pitched and 34 strikeouts. So looking at those stats, you definitely see that he's one of the arms that Batavia always relies on when it comes to closing things out, and he's got the opposite job today. He's got the starting nod, as we've seen with pitching as of recently. Nothing against the guys, but it's just the longevity that they've had to go. It's been 13 games straight that will end on July 19th. So we're currently at the 9th game, but before that, a 13-game stretch including that. So they've had, trying to do the math real quick, 24 games with 1 day off in between that so far. So imagine doing that and what damage that will do to your bullpen when you got to get a nice rotation and you got a good matchup here that is so important for standings. You got to bring in one of your closers to get the starting nod, and that's exactly what Batavia is going to do. It's Eric Woodley getting the starting nod for the Muckdogs here against Jamestown. To remind you, these two teams coming in at 1 and 2 seed. It's the 1 seed Jamestown now today and 2 seed Batavia. If we look at the records, Batavia comes in tonight's matchup with a 24-8-1 record. Jamestown a 24-7-2. So only a half game separation between these two teams. But enough about that. That will all be decided and more later tonight. But first, the bottom of the first, right around the corner. So leading things off for Jamestown is Grant Moore, who rips it right over on a slow roller to Cooper Russell, who makes an easy put out for the first out just like that. It brings up designated hitter number 6, Eric Weeks. Eric Weeks on the season. 4th in batting average on the Jamestown team, a 3.67 with 109 at-bats, 31 runs, 40 hits, which is a team high in the hit metric, but 37 RBIs, 57 total bases, leading the team in lots of metrics, should I say, but 1 out, a fresh count. We'll see what he does. That's in there for ball 1. We'll look on the opposite side for Eric Woodley. Already went through his stats, but a little deeper in. A 3-1 record across 15 appearances. 5 saves as well registered. As that's dribbled to Vasquez. Scoop, good scoop, but lost the transition on the hand. And it slips out of his glove. That's going to go down as an error as Eric Weeks reaches first. So as that goes down as an error against Batavia, Eric Weeks able to reach first. It brings up first baseman number 14, Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith leads the team in batting average of 4.86 across 37 at-bats, 7 runs, 18 hits, 12 RBIs, and 24 total bases. Ball 1 is the count. Woodley set, delivers up high. 2-0. You can see in the background for today, it's quite hazy. Just due to the Canadian wildfires as well, the ones over in Minnesota and Wisconsin. But a 2-0, just too high, 3-0 count. That smoke and smog coming down over upstate New York, and it's going to continue getting worse, I think, as the night goes on. So we'll see what colors that the sky becomes, but again, we'd like to recognize the firefighters and emergency crews battling the wildfires across Ontario and in the Midwest USA. That's in for strike 1, but thank you for your courage and dedication. Our thoughts are with everyone affected. 3-1 count for Woodley dealing to Nolan Smith. Again, Eric Weeks at first. Pickoff attempt right on cue. It's not good. So again, turn our attention back to home plate. Woodley's not done though over at first. Glancing once, we'll see if he does. Try to attempt his back-to-back pickoff attempts. He won't. 3-1 pitch in there for strike two. Full count. The funny thing is, Nolan Smith, a player from SUNY Cortland, that's where I attended college as of recently. Was on his side as a commentator. I'm now no longer. It's ball inside for a walk off the full count. It brings up left fielder number 11, Anthony Tromer. Excuse me, but 2-on following the walk. 1 out. And Anthony Tromer up to bat. If we look at Tromer's stats, we'll see he comes in today with a batting average of .305 as that's fouled off. And that's going to get a little spot into Rumchinsky, who needs to walk it off for just a second. Got through the gear. Right now, the Muckdogs don't need any more catchers getting hurt, as Cooper Romick still out with a broken thumb and Socorro out as well with a groin injury. Rumchinsky, though, trying to shake off the pain, and he seems all right. But again, that was fouled off for strike one. Taking his time, and he's all set. But again, the catcher position has dwindled down, especially earlier. Rumchinsky, when he departed from the team, left the position pretty bare, and all the way to the point where they called him back up, and Rumchinsky thankfully helping out the Muckdogs as he left back to go for his college team, and a ground over to third. 1 out. The second one, they will get it. A double play grounder over to short of 5-3. Simple, but makes it look easy. Well, I guess I said that backwards, but looks easy. I'm not exactly sure where I was going with that, but they get it done. That's all that matters. 5-0 is your score after the completion of the first inning. Batavia starting out hot, and we'll stay on air as well for this inning just to take you through what we've got going on and what I missed on the pregame show. So, again, we did miss this part. I'll quickly take you through. It's the Jamestown defense. Rocco Almonte over on the mound. Heath Fetchick at catcher. Nolan Smith for first. Tito Kiefer second. Jackson Enders at short. Caleb Jordan over third. Anthony Tromer over in left. Grant Moore at center. And C.J. Dugan at right. But that's your defense for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. So we gone through your already batting order and both defenses. We got that out of the way. Going through my checklist. So I could say I've already introduced myself, so what else could you need? And it's really just the thoughts I wanted to provide you guys to give you some more clarification on what's at stake for tonight's matchup. These two teams, it's the 1 and 2 seed. Said that enough. They're half a game separated with their records. But the thing here is, as of today, Jamestown has announced that they have clinched a playoff berth. Batavia 1 game away from doing that themselves. But again, on the bus today, following 2 straight losses for the Muckdogs, that coming from Jamestown only 2 days ago in that 6-5 loss at Dwyer. It then followed a loss against the Americans, in a game that definitely got away from them and they would like back. But that loss against the Americans last night definitely took a punch to the gut, should I say, to Batavia as they try to hang on and extend their lead, as Jamestown didn't play anyone yesterday, but Coach Skips on the bus was trying to rally up the teams, as quoting Jamestown, they've been getting too cocky. And another announced to his team, remember, you're on the best team in the league. Act like it. And they certainly have, with a 5-0 lead right out of the gate. But again, the second inning, here we go. Top of the second, leading things off for Batavia is the catcher, Luke Rumchinski. We already do have a pitching change as well for Jamestown. Almonte's day already comes to an end. A swing and a miss for Rumchinski. It pushes the count 0-2. As in for Almonte is Sean Spittler, if I'm pronunciating that one right. Spittler. As that's dribbled over to second, Scoop gets it in the chest and a ground out for Rumchinski. So 1 out now. It brings up the last man in the batting lineup for Batavia. It's shortstop number 4, Jaden Vasquez. Vasquez, a hometown native of Harvard Straw, New York, attended the College of Hofstra University. 5'11" and standing at 5'11", 190 pounds, a freshman over there. As that's strike one. The stats on the season for Vasquez in his short time, they are, needless to say, pretty good. A .333 batting average. Only 8 games played, 24 at-bats, 6 runs, 8 hits, 6 RBIs off 11 total bases, as he's also one of the newcomers for the Muckdogs. 1-1 count back at the plate, and we'll take you through the pitching change as well following this. 1-1, fouled off, 1-2. So again, in for Rocco Almonte is Sean Spittler. Monty's day finishes only after 1 inning, allowing 2 hits, 5 runs, all 5 being earned, 1 batter walked, no strikeouts across 8 batters faced, and 32 total pitches. 1-2. And ooh, dropping it in on the outside edge for strike 3 looking. Again, my angle isn't perfect, but I'm not too sure if I thought about that one. But again, weird angle, and I'm a broadcaster. We'll turn back our attention, though. Center fielder number 50, Jalen David, a fly out over to center. His first plate appearance. Spittler, as David shows bunt, pulls it back. It's ball 1. Spittler. I got it. There we go. Spittler. As I don't see any stats on Spittler. So that's in for strike 1, a 1-1 count. So I'm trying to see what I can find as that's driven over the head of second, over on the right field, and the first hit for Jalen David, a single. From what I can see, though, I don't see anything on Spittler. So we're going to roll with what we got. It brings up third baseman number 2, Jackson Inman. Walked in his first appearance as it dribbled over to first. Unfortunately, an easy put out for Nolan Smith unassisted. So the top of the second comes and goes. It's still 5-0, but Batavia, they have 5. Jamestown, nothing. Bottom of the second, right around the corner. Again, Eric Woodley will take to the mound. Leading things off will be extra hitter Joaquin Rodriguez Costo when we come back.
Order for the Batavia Muckdogs.
Feeding the pack?
Gotta feed the pack.
Go dogs!
Go dogs!
Yeah! We don't want you to like coming here. We want you to love coming here. Batavia Downs, official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
And we're back for the bottom of the second. Getting things set here. Again, a reminder, leading things off. Extra hitter, number 19, Jaquin Rodriguez-Costa. The option to bring out Eric Woodley, I feel like, has a definite probability into how the pitching has been playing out for the Muckdogs. Again, not going over direct any pitchers themselves, but just how long these guys have been playing ball all summer long, and with minimal breaks in between and the constant rotation, you got to be able to change up how you play, especially yesterday, specifically speaking in the numbers. They put up their fourth highest total team ERA of a 10.13. As that was fouled off for strike one. As Woodley deals just outside 1-1. But again, on the bus, I overheard the spiel from Coach Skip, trying to get his team hyped up for tonight's matchup. It definitely was not a point of him trying to point out any group on the team, but as a whole, get them all together in unison to be working for just the common goal. Get out with a win tonight in a huge matchup in terms of standings and how the playoffs could play out. Swing and a miss, 2-2, and it seems to have worked as the guys were hyped up, I can tell you, on the bus, and they're hyped up here, leading 5-0 already in the second inning. But again, plenty of baseball left to be played. A 2-2 count against Tromer. Or Rodriguez Costa, excuse me. As that's right over my head. I wasn't even looking, writing down in my notes, and that one could have clonked me. I should have tried to grab that. Two-two. Woodley deals. It's right back to Woodley. Hits his glove, drops, but there's still plenty of time. Able to remain calm and gets the out from a ground out from Rodriguez Costa. So it brings up right fielder number 39, C.J. Dugan. If we look at Dugan's stats on the season, Dugan comes in with a .278 batting average across 72 plate appearances, 19 runs, 20 hits, 7 of those being doubles, nothing else, 8 RBIs, and 27 total bases. 1 out, first pitch, dealt outside, ball 1. One 0 count, Woodley set, delivers. And just low, missing the zone. 2-0. Deals fouled off. 2-1. On deck, third baseman, number 38, Caleb Jordan. But 2-1, Woodley set, delivers. Hot off the bat to Vasquez. Fields it cleanly. A long throw. And beating him out. Quintero stays on the bag. Slightly in front of first base, but he's able to do yoga and stretch over and get the snag. 2 outs for the Batavia defense. So again, as said, it brings up Caleb Jordan up to home plate. And we look at his stats Caleb Jordan, a .271 batting average across 85 plate appearances, 20 runs, 23 hits, 20 RBIs off 27 total bases. Jordan, one of the notable stealers for the team's fourth in that stats, 11 stolen bases. The only 3 guys ahead of him. In third place is Matthew Dumas, Eric Weeks in second, and Grant Moore for first. As that's driven foul off the 0-1 count, it pushes it to 0-2. Again, apologies for the delay in the graphic. One-man show running it up here tonight. But again, 0-2. Woodley delivers the pitch. Swing on a drop strike 3. And making the tag himself is Rumchinsky. So just ensuring the strikeout for Jordan, it brings an end to the second inning entirely. Batavia Muckdogs still up 5-0. We'll stay on air just to take you through what I keep mentioning, the scores. So Batavia and Jamestown head-to-head, they've had 7 games to go through all season. In those matchups, it started off early within the season, the 4th game of the season for the Muckdogs in particular, June 3rd. That matchup went to Jamestown in extras, 7-6. Following that, it was June 11th, Batavia taking home the win 10-4. Then a little bit of 2-week vacation, I could say, between the two teams, going to June 25th. Batavia then coming into Jamestown for the first time that season, 15-5 and 7. Actually really got a hold of Jamestown the first time that they've suffered a loss like that up until that point. But again, it was a 2-1 record as it stood on that date. Then July 1st came around, Batavia making it 3-1 after an 8-6 victory. And after that, it was looking good, but unfortunately, it was a tie on that notable July 10th matchup here in Jamestown not too long ago, only 5 days ago, should I say, but 12-12 ties following the 10th inning as both teams went back and forth, answering the call for one another. And then only 2 days ago, Jamestown was able to withhold the Batavia comeback as it finished with a 6-5 score, which puts the total head-to-head in Batavia's favor, 3-2-1 record. Jamestown, if they tied today, that, because it's 7 games and a split record, the head-to-head, of course, would be forgotten, should I say. If they were to tie in the game percentage at the end of the season, it'd move on to playoff overall record of other playoff teams. Excuse me there. But again, that would be the alternate tiebreaker. So this is important in that retrospect, but it's also most important just in terms of record. Batavia would jump out to a half-game lead instead of falling to 1.5, where they would then be out of their own control. That's what really matters here for Batavia, staying in control and you're in the driver's seat. When it comes to playoffs, that's all you ever want, is your team to be able to control your own destiny. But leading things off here in the top of the third is number 11, left fielder Evan Brock. Hit by pitch in his last at-bat as that's upstairs and a 2-0 count. Evan Brock getting a high piece of that. It's going towards the foul line over and right, but not far enough as the right fielder, C.J. Dugan, able to close the gap for the first out here in the top of the third. Brings up the next man up, right fielder, number 46, Braden Reyna. Reyna, a single. His last at-bat. So he'll watch ball one go by off the first pitch. But Reyna, hometown native of Rochester, New York, from Fordham University. So that's in for strike one. Sitting at 6'3", 190 pounds. 1-1. Ooh, very close to the inside for ball two, but no, called strike two. 1-2. So I need a quieter chair. Is that driven right back to the pitcher, gets by him and over to center field. Reyna, another hit. He's 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles. It brings up second baseman number 1, Cooper Russell. So storyline as comparatively to yesterday has been completely flipped. Muckdogs only putting up 4 runs against the second to last place Niagara Falls Americans. So that's ball 1. But they only put up 4 runs, so they've already passed that total with 5 runs today. Pickoff attempt over at first. Didn't really get a good hold of that and just had to loft it over. So it's a 1-0 count. But in that game, I think it was, you could say a wake-up call. So that's in for strike 1. That was, again, a game. Every game at this point, this late in the season, is huge for seeding in the playoffs. But that was truly a wake-up call that the Muckdogs needed to, hey, we need to get back in gear and get back to how we ran things. As that's up high, going to second, back to first, called safe, though. Or no, excuse me. Interference or obstruction from Nolan Smith will give Reyna second base. That's the call as it stands right now from the infield umpire. He's calling obstruction on Nolan Smith stepping in the base path of Reyna as he tries to slide back. And obstruction is the call. He's going to talk things over with the Jamestown manager. But the call was safe because Reyna did try to advance to second, then turned back as that was a ball very up high. And Fetchik, a good snag to reach up there and prevent it from going to the backstop. And Reyna noticed it, trying to get back, and the pickoff attempt from the catcher wasn't in time. And in that call, it's obstruction against Nolan Smith. Reyna will be given second base, and that's what will stand. A 2-1 count. And the 2-1 is a hit by pitch, and Cooper Russell hit again. So Cooper Russell, a little sore now, but he's been given first base twice. It puts 2 runners on now for the Muckdogs, first and second. In designated hitter number 20, Glenn Brooks up to bat. And we never went through his stats in particular. And they're a name that the Muckdogs have missed, a .386 batting average, good for second on the team, with 88 plate appearances, 28 runs, 34 hits, a good mixture of everything, as that's up high but able to drop down on the break for within the zone. Fetchik calls it's time to talk things over, and it gives me time to talk things over about Glenn Brooks. But 88 at-bats, 28 runs, 34 hits, 4 doubles, 5 triples, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs off 54 total bases, and we already covered his stolen base track record at 27. Good for second in the league. But an 0-1 count, 1 out, back at home plate, 2 runners on for the Muckdogs. Looking at second. Defense shifts back into position. 0-1, deals home. And another breaking one, able to drop down in the zone. 0-2. See, that was the thing about Spitaleri. I see him as a hitter, and I guess they're also going through their bullpen here. As that's fouled off, I do see what you're talking about there, Dwight Chandler, about the fact that he has no pitching stats, and, well, he's got the nod today already here in the second inning. He did allow no scores, but he's got 2 on, 1 out, and an 0-2 count following the foul ball. Glenn Brooks will stay alive. We'll do it again. set, defense shifts, and steps off late in the motion. As the base runners now for the Muckdogs trying to play into Spitaler's head. Play the psychological game. As that's driven over to third. Gets over his head. And foul. Was fair, and then, I don't know, a gust of wind catching it. It does go foul just behind in the left field shallow grass. Not more than a foot. As runners did go, and that could have turned into a 2-run score situation, given the lead that they had out there on the base path. But no, it'll go back to an 0-2 count, 1 out. Everyone goes back to their spots. We'll do it one more time. Oh, 2 pitch, fouled off. Glenn Brooks once, twice, thrice is refusing to let this be an easy out for Spitaleri. Oh, 2. Gets underneath it. It's driven deep to center. He's got to go all the way back, can he? He will make the snag. Tag up, though, from Reyna, and he will take third. Cooper Russell going back to first. It's 2 outs, but Reyna does advance to third base. It puts runners on the corners now for the Muckdogs. And up to bat is first baseman James Quintero. Fetcher gives signals to his defense. Trying to see any shifts. I don't see anything in particular in terms where the defense is positioning. Going against Quintero. Fly out, or excuse me, can't read my own handwriting. Out on the fielder's choice. This first at bat. I read that as a FO, not FC, but 1-0 count following ball 1. Pickoff attempt over at first, no good. This time we won't get the obstruction call. Another pickoff attempt, no good. That won't change anything. One 0, 2 outs. Deals home. Swing and a miss for Quintero. Swung so hard as some of his gear came off. Time called. It was his elbow pad that came right off. He wanted that one. But as the swing and a miss goes down, it's strike 1. 1-1 count. Another pickoff attempt. Third one we've seen so far for Quintero's at bat. Again, no change. Trying to get Russell off the base path. And not really that, but just bring an end to the top of the third. Deals home off the 1-1. It's up high. Going to second, and he can't glove in the ball. And Reyna comes in to score the throw. It was on the mark all the way to second base, but in that playing out, the shortstop for Jamestown, Jackson Enders, can't glove the ball. And it gets away from him, and as well, Reyna gets a signal home, and they play the cards right. A score comes in. Reyna makes it 6-0, and Cooper Russell now standing on second as that went for ball 2, a 2-1 count. Back at home plate. Spitaleri set. Defense shifts back for a second, fakes back towards the bag, and time called by Quintero. Again, that was Jackson Enders covering the second base bag, and the throw was there, and he just took his head or took his eye off the ball just a second too early. I could see clear from here that he just wasn't paying attention to exactly where it was, trying to look at where Cooper Russell was coming in. Before he could do that, the glove did not close down. A little too early, just off the outside part of his glove, and it's going to trickle by him. At the same time, Reyna already had the signal home, and it ensured he got home. 3-1 count as that goes for ball 3. Pitch from Spitaleri, a little bloop back to Spitaleri. I don't think Quintero wanted the swing in full contact there, but he got it nonetheless, and a grounder back to Spitaleri makes the put out for space. It brings an end. It's 6-0 now for Batavia following the top of the third. And we'll be back for more baseball when we come back in just a second.
I'd like to withdraw some Muckdogs, please.
Muckbox?
Realistically, I can't withdraw Muckdogs here. But what I can do is do all my banking through Tompkins Bank, an official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs. I gotta get back to picking up my Muckdogs.
Here in Batavia, hard work and community goes hand in hand. That's why the Batavia Muckdogs are a proud partner with Farm Credit East, helping support the people of Western New York grow.
We don't want you to like coming here. We want you to love coming here. Batavia Downs, official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
So we've reached the bottom of the third here in Jamestown. Leading things off for Jamestown is number 32, catcher Heath Fetchick. If we look at Fetchick's stats on this season, he comes to the batter's box with a batting average of a .233 over 73 plate appearances, 18 runs, 17 hits, 15 RBIs off 24 total bases. So he'll take strike one looking. On one count, Woodley deals swing and a miss for Fetchick, make that 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, another swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Woodley. That one we won't need to see a drop strike 3, but it's just a pure strike 3. That's it for Fetchick. 1 out, and it brings up shortstop number 7, Jackson Enders. So Enders on the season. In batting average, he's last for Jamestown, a .172 across 58 plate appearances, 12 runs, 10 hits, and he lines that over to center. It will get down and will be a single for Enders. So maybe you didn't like what I heard on that statement. The single for Enders puts him over on first base. I'll finish up what I was saying, though. Enders, 58 plate appearances, 12 runs, 10 hits, 2 RBIs on 13 total bases. Or to the last man in the batting lineup, Tito Kiefer, a .299 batting average, 67 plate appearances, 16 runs, 20 hits, 11 RBIs, and 21 total bases. But 1 man on, 1 out is the situation. Woodley set, delivers the pitch, beams it by, but just too low for ball 1. As that's chopped to short. Play at 2 in time, play at 1 in time. The second double play for the Muckdogs defense. That is what you do when you come to Jamestown, and they get it done. Their second double play like that, a 6-3 at that. But, I mean, that's exactly what you're going to need from Batavia. I said it earlier about trying to treat yesterday as a wake-up call, losing 11-4, visiting the Niagara Falls Americans, and they've done so in the quickest turnaround I have ever seen. 6-0, going toe-to-toe, or really not even toe-to-toe, but head-to-head against the number 1 seed in the West Division, and they want to make sure they're in control of their own fate. As we do already have another pitching change for Jamestown. It's Nate Muncy coming in for Sean Spitaleri. So Spitaleri's day comes to an end only after 2 innings pitched, allowing 2 hits, 1 run, one of which being earned, 1 strikeout across 9 batters faced, and 33 total pitches. But we'll look at Nate Muncy, who at the same time does not have any pitching stats. So if you want to talk about a bullpen day for Jamestown, I'm not even sure if this would qualify, in technically speaking, about bullpen, just because they're going to positional players. Nate Muncy is a name we have seen in the past few matchups going against the Muckdogs, and now we're going to see him. He has all the stats for hitting, a .282 batting average, but that's not going to tell you anything about his time on the mound as he makes his debut for Jamestown. They're already on their 3rd pitcher in the 4th inning. And this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't only apply to the Muckdogs when I keep mentioning about the fact that their pitching has been going away from them just purely because they don't have the arms to do all these long stretches of games. And that goes for many teams within the league. And you could see it playing out perfectly in front of you going against the Muckdogs as they're now onto positional players in their 3rd pitcher in 4 innings. So the first man to test Muncy in his debut as pitcher for the season is going to be number 8, Miles Manel. And he lines that over to Enders, who's able to get up on his feet and jump in for the first out. A fly out from Manel straight over to Enders at short. So I'll get that score bug for you guys in just a moment. Apologies for that. But again, 1 out, top of the 4th. And now up to bat is catcher Luke Rynczynski. I hesitated for a second because I'm like, that's not number 4, and I keep forgetting Rynczynski changed his number since returning. Vasquez took 4, and he's now 48. So a 1-1 count. Sets inside for ball 2. 2-1. Going against Rynczynski is Nate Muncy. That goes for ball 3. 3-1 count. No call on the check swing from Rumchinski. Three-one. Set deals and punching it in for strike 2. A full count for Nate Muncie. We'll see if he's able to get out of it. Playoff. Swing and a miss. And Muncie gets a strikeout against Rumchinski on the payoff pitch. It's 2 outs now and brings up shortstop number 4, Jaden Vasquez. So again, 2 outs, a fly out to shortstop for Manel and a strikeout for Rumchinski. No one on and ball 1. As that's driven over to third and doesn't put the glove to dirt, it goes all the way to the outfield. Held up halfway going to second as Vasquez. He returns back to first base, but a hit for Vasquez. A single at that. Third baseman for Jamestown, running right over it. That's Caleb Jordan. Just didn't have the glove down at all, and it ball sneaks right underneath it. So the 2-out single plays well. Back to the top of the order we go the third time around in the carousel. Center fielder number 50, Jalen David. Ball 1. Jalen David from Bronx, New York, University of Holy Family College. So that's going foul off the hop. So 1-1. He's a sophomore over there at Holy Family, standing at 5'10", 175 pounds. He's a utility player. We've seen him substitute him for Glenn Brooks at center fielder. He started off in right, then got brought back into short, and then placed back out within the outfield. But he can truly do it all and plays every position he's been in very well, as that's down in the dirt, really in front of the plate. Good movement by Fetchick to glove that down and stay in front, and was aware if any play could have been made off of it, but Vasquez won't be going anywhere. It's a 2-1 count. And that's driven foul, again over towards the third baseline. And a 2-2 count. Muncie set. And a pickoff attempt over at first. Vasquez going to second. The throw to second has him stealing for the third out. So the pickoff attempt, Vasquez elected to try to test it. Going to second, couldn't get back to first in time, and he's caught out going to second base. So the third out comes and goes. The top of the fourth comes and goes as well. And we'll be back for the bottom when we come back.
I'll take 1 million beers, please.
Nah, man, we don't have that. Here, try this.
What's this?
This is beer from Eli Fish, the official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
That's unbelievable. Thank you.
No problem, man.
I'll have what he had.
Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome to the YMCA. Let me show you around. They have free weights and machines here at their state-of-the-art gym. They also have open courts here. And after all those activities, you can come to the pool and cool off. Remember, folks, you can find all these activities here at Glow YMCA, Genesee County Branch.
So the bottom of the fourth, here we go. Off and ready, leading things off for Jamestown is number 2, center fielder Grant Moore. We've only reached the second time around in the batting order comparatively to Batavia, which is now on their third go-around, and that's partly due to the ground-out double plays and the quick at-bats for Jamestown so far in the season. This game. I can tell you this heat is also getting to me, and I'm going to put that up there for you on screen in just a second. Before I got to focus on getting the score bug. Again, appreciate your patience with me today. So I'm a one-man crew. That's ball 2, 2-0 count. In terms of Jamestown, it's 76, but it sure does not feel like it. So we did have highs of 85 earlier. And for strike 1, and I can tell you that feels like 79, at least for this press box up here, it does not feel like it. So maybe it's truly just me, but I want to know. 2-1 count. Deals home, right back to Woodley. Can't block it down with his foot. And Vasquez trying to close the gap over to second base bag. Won't be able to. And that's going to be a base hit to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth from Grant Moore. So designated hitter number 6, Eric Weeks up the bat. Reached first off the error. See what he can get done here in his second chance. It was the error where Vasquez tried to transition the ball out of his glove to his hand, and it just didn't work out the way he wanted to. Lost it, dropping it to the ground, and in that time, it was too late. First pitch, just too low, ball 1. Grant Moore hesitating to show to go second. It's fouled off. Moves the count 1-1. But again, a little more about Jamestown. They had yesterday off, so they were definitely watching last night's game where the Americans did defeat Batavia 11-4 in Niagara Falls. But as they had last night off, a pickoff attempt over first. They got Grant Moore. A pickoff attempt that works. And the man that usually is left to steal, the leader in stolen bases, is picked off in a huge play. In response to Vasquez, they get him right back. That puts up 1 out and takes off more off the base path. 1-1 count. And that will hit Weeks in the hand. Sounded like his bat. But there's going to be no challenge. The home plate umpire, he's standing out in first to see if... No, he's not going to discuss anything. So the call is hit by pitch against Eric Weeks. He'll be awarded first base. So after Grant Moore got taken off, basically Eric Weeks takes his place, but 1 out brings up first baseman number 14, Nolan Smith. He was walked off the full count in his last at-bat. But I'll continue off where I was saying. Jamestown, the day off for themselves yesterday. Sets down low for ball 1. So you have to go back to the last matchup, of course, being July 13th. They beat Batavia, as we saw, 6-5. But going before that was a huge doubleheader, going against the Auburn Double Days, 2 versus 3, what it was at the time. And in that, Jamestown got back-to-back walk-offs. as that's fouled off, 1-1 count. But they won the first game 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th, and then the Doubledays, bottom of the 7th again, because they're both walk-offs, 9-8. They came back, especially in that first game, the 5-4 game, by scoring 4 runs. They were down 4-1. So a game that we definitely needed Auburn to win as Muckdogs fans definitely did not go our way. But 1-1 count, 1 out. Can't look at the past, and you got to look at what you can control now, and that's especially what these two teams are going to try to do. Is today's matchup inflicts on who's going to be able to control their own destiny for the 1 seed come playoff time. But a pickoff attempt over at first to get Eric Weeks off the base path won't work this time. It still is a 1-1 count with 1 out with Nolan Smith back at home plate. He's set, Woodley set. Woodley delivers, driven back to Woodley, right in the glove. Play at 2 in time to play at first. Got him another double play. How about that? 3 double plays for the Muckdogs defense, and just like that, the 4th inning is all over. You can't make this up. They keep getting it done. This one back to Woodley. And he drives it right into his glove. Woodley's ready for it. The play at second and the play at first. A 1-6-3. How about that? Brings an end to the 4th inning. It's 6-0 in Muckdogs' favor with only 5 innings left to go. We'll come back to talk things over as well when it's all said and done and we're all ready for the 5th.
We don't want you to like coming here. We want you to love coming here. Batavia Downs, official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
Who are you?
Fans, if you get hit with a foul ball, don't call our insurance.
Why is no one doing anything?
Call UMMC at Rochester Medical Center for help.
Should have called him.
Leading things off, it's Jalen David. As Vasquez was caught stealing to round out the the top of the 4th. Jalen David will get another chance and a fresh count to start things off. A 1-0 count as it stands. And for strike 1, 1-1. We got Muncie out there on the mound for Jamestown. As that's down in the dirt, make that 2-1. Two-one count, Jalen David set and ready. Once he deals, David getting a piece of that, trying to find the gap, a little too much hang time all the way at the track, and caught by the left fielder, Anthony Tromer. Caught at the wall, got every bit of that, and it looked like it had a chance at least to make contact with the wall, but no. So 1 out, following the deep fly out. It brings up number 2, Jackson Inman. Down in the dirt in front of home plate for ball 1. That's the thing, you're bringing in these positional players, and Not only is it making your job a lot more difficult to try to keep this game closer, as it's 6-0 for the Muckdogs, but more specifically, if we look at Heath Fetchick, he's going to have to adjust to all these new guys that he's not on the regular with. You know, you train with these pitchers, you know what their tendencies are, what they can deliver, as that's inside. I mean, these positional players, they're not going to be delivering a huge variety in terms of pitches, but it's still going to throw you off, and you're going to have to quickly recount what you can get done. 2-0. Outside, down low. 3-0. Deals and able to put that over the plate on the 3-0 count. So Inman walked and then a ground out in his 2 plate appearances so far, but the 3-1 will give him another walk as that's down in the dirt. So left fielder number 11, Evan Brock, back up. Hit by pitch and then a fly out to right field is how his day's been going so far. As that's another ball down in the dirt well in front of home plate. Makes it a 1-0 count. Ready for a pickoff attempt over at first. We'll see if Muncie elects to go. He doesn't. Deals home. Ripping that over to left. It's deep from Brock. Keeps on going. Off the wall. And held up at third. Sliding in is Inman. A deep shot from Brock. You couldn't see that one off camera, but he got every bit of that one. It goes all the way off the second-tiered wall in left field. And it will give him a stand-up double. And Evan Brock, that's something he's going to need. As of late for now, in terms of hitting, it hasn't quite gone his way. We saw it with Inman, a little bit of a slump. Evan Brock, the day off, it seems to be working. As that double, he got every bit of that one. Launching it deep to left field, and if that's not a 2-tiered wall, that one was gone. It was off the high wall over on the left. You can see an example of that deep over on the right, how it's set up. Fouled off, the 1-0. Moves it 1-1. That's what Batavia needs, is their hitters to come alive. And in terms of stats, for their batting average in their last 4 games combined is a low count of a 208. Last 4 games, total team batting averages. That's ball 2, a pickoff attempt over at first. Inman on a close attempt, able to get back. He'll stay safe. But again, 2-1 count. Inman safe over at third. Evan Brock standing on second. But their last 4 games, team total batting average, a 208. Just to give you a reference points, in terms of hitting for the Muckdogs, they sit at a 304 on the season. That's too high for ball 3. The lowest team, the Boonville Lumberjacks, their team average is a 228. So in their last 4 games, their batting average has been the worst and out of the charts. And that's really where it comes into play today and why they needed this wake-up call. And they're doing it here as that's ripped over to right, chasing it down after misreading it. He will make the out, but everyone off the tag up brings in another score. A sac fly from Braden Reyna brings in one more. It's 7-0 for Batavia. Reyna was 2 of 2 on the day, and the sac fly won't ruin his perfection, but it's for a worthy cause. It's 7-0 now from the sac fly over to right field. That one looked like it had a chance to discombobulate the right fielder, CJ Dugan, who was coming in, then realized that one had a lot more underneath it and had to track it down on the run over the shoulder. Was able to locate it, but everyone tagging up. Evan Brock now standing on third. As that's strike one for at home plate, it's second baseman number 1, Cooper Russell. As that's ball one as well. So 1-1 count. That 208, I want to dive into that number just a little bit more, just give you some perspective, as that's ball 2. Because that includes the game against Jamestown, where the Muckdogs in that 12-12 tie had a 419 batting average, 18 hits, of course, the 12 runs, and 11 RBIs. So they were getting it done in that game, but other than that, the other 3, it's really been a slump. So with that 419 in there, that really shows you the struggles in the last 3 matchups that they've had going for them. 2-1 count, and that's well outside for ball 3. That's one thing I've been trying to stress the past week, is just really trying to stick with who you are and play to your strengths, and it looks like they've got a hold of that with the lead they've got early in this game. Full count as that goes for strike 2. Payoff. Driven over to third. Shortstop, scoop, throw, first in time. Even though it took a little skip of a stone, it will be the final out here. For the top of the 5th, Batavia extends the lead by 1 more. It is 7-0 as we're now halfway through this ball game. And there's still plenty of left, and you can't count out any team, as we've seen, whether it's the Tarp Skunks, the Muckdogs, or any team within the PGCBL. It's not over until you see the 27th out. And there's plenty more baseball left to be played when we come back.
Hey man, welcome to Whole Life. How you doing?
What is this place?
Oh, don't worry. It's the best gym you can find in the Batavia area. Open free weights at any point, anytime. Don't forget, this gym is open for 24 hours. Don't worry, if you're not even just trying to use weights, you can use calisthenics as well. But again, official gym of your Batavia Muckdogs for a reason.
Where do I sign up?
Don't worry, let me bring you to the front desk.
We don't want you to like coming here. We want you to love coming here. Batavia Downs, official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
All right, Dewey, what are we thinking here?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great, how are you?
Good. Are you guys all set?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, what can I start you with to drink?
To drink, can we just get 2 waters, please?
Of course. And then did you decide on your meals?
Yes, we are ready, aren't we, Dewey?
Wonderful. What can I get for you?
Can we start with the Alex's Cut?
Of course. All right.
All right.
What else can I get for you?
Dewey?
Ribs?
Dewey will take Alex's famous baby back pork ribs.
Fantastic.
Try Alex's Ribs at Alex's Place, an official sponsor of the Batavia Muckdogs.
We'll get right into things. Anthony Tromer at the plate. He'll swing and miss on strike 1. Again, Woodley still out there on the mound for the Muckdogs. There's another swing and a miss, make that 0-2. Tromer ground out double play, the 5-3, the first for the Muckdogs defense. Oh-2 deals home, dribbled down the third baseline, and it's a slow roller. and allows Tromer, excuse me with the hiccups, but Tromer to reach first base. It's an 0-2 count that just got away just to the baseball playing out like a bocce ball. Can't really read it sometimes, and that one's not even on Inman. It's just how the ball plays. Hit a slow roll down the third baseline, basically a swing, turns into a bunt. It will work for Jamestown. You get nothing ready for it for the defense, and that's how it plays out. Got to move on, and we're moving on to extra hitter, number 19, Joaquin Rodriguez Costa. That's outside for ball one. So that will go down as the second hit for Jamestown this game. One 0. Well, the set delivers just too low. Move the count 2-0. Rodriguez Costa, a ground out. Back to Woodley. Woodley has been able to make some plays. Had that one, and that doesn't even include the ground out double play that wrapped up the bottom of the fourth. It's Woodley really doing it all. 2-0. Looked like for a second Tromer was going. He'll step back. It's 3-0. And the 3-0 pitch is in there for strike one. Pick that back up, Rodriguez Costa. Tossing it away just a tad bit too early. But 3-1 count as it stands. Woodley delivers, getting underneath that is Costa, and it's out of play. So forget what he thought was ball four. It's a full count. Again, full count. Tromer on first. Payoff. Getting underneath it. It's flying to left. Can it stay fair? No, it's going foul. And we'll do it again. Going back to first is Tromer. On deck, right fielder number 39, C.J. Dugan for Jamestown. Again, full count situation. Pickoff attempt over at first. Tromer will make it back. Little reminder there for Tromer to make sure that Woodley knows he's there. It won't make it easy for him. But again, turn our attention back to home plate. We set, payoff, driven again to left and out of play. Won't do it again. Payoff. Fouled off once, twice, thrice. It will keep going. Rodriguez Costa not going down too easy. Woodley will have to get his money's worth here. Woodley set, delivers the payoff, and again, foul. Once, twice, thrice, quadrice. I think the longest we got to was that at-bat with Inman, which I believe reached octagonal ice. Payoff. Driven foul. Once, twice, thrice, quadrice, quintice. It will keep moving with the at-bat, but the count stays full. Payoff pitch. Fouled again. Once, twice, thrice, quadrice, quintice, setice. Actually, I think I mispronounced that one, but I know 7. That's what matters. We'll see if we reach 7 straight foul balls for Rodrigo Costa. Rinse and repeat is the absolute definition here. Payoff. Given back to second. Underhand toss. Gets one out. The second out. In time. The 4th double play for Batavia this game alone. How about that? An impressive number. And we're only in the 5th inning, and they get it done in so many ways. And at bat that looked like it would last forever finally comes to a conclusion, and it's another double play. A 4-6-3 is what it goes down as. That's fouled off by right fielder number 39, C.J. Dugan. A ground out over to short in his last at-bat. But how about that, ladies and gentlemen? The 4th double play for the Muckdogs defense. The 0-1 count, make that 0-2. Strike 2 looking. Woodley set, delivers, swing and a miss. Add that to the strikeout count. An impressive metric in each way for this Muckdogs defense. It will continue. And it's still 7-0 after 5 complete innings. Jamestown, it's now at the point where I'm going to start saying these kind of stuff, and I'm going to have to watch my mouth just because I don't want to be held responsible for jinxing it. But Jamestown, they're going to need something on defense to hold down the Batavia Muckdogs on offense, and not only that, but hitting. Batavia doing everything better here in Jamestown at Russell E. Dythrick Jr. Park. That's a mouthful, but they keep doing it, and they do it better than Jamestown so far in this game. But it brings an end to the 5th inning off the strikeout from C.J. Dugan, courtesy of Eric Woodley. We'll stay on air. We're going to take you to the schedule for upcoming Batavia Muckdogs game. On the 16th tomorrow at Olean at 6:30. Then on Friday versus Olean at 6:30. Those matchups, you will have Jarrett Campbell as your host, and I will be absent. So a little flip of the roles. You'll get him for 2 games, and I'll be returning on Saturday the 18th at Elmira at 6:30. Then the last 4:05 game of the season is versus Niagara Ironbacks. That'll be the last time those 2 teams meet. And then a day off, a long-awaited one at that, for the guys on Monday. They will resume their last few games on the 21st Tuesday versus Newark at 6:30. Then on the 22nd at Auburn, 6:30. Then bringing them back to Dwyer Stadium to host Auburn on Thursday, the 23rd. But that's your next week worth of games for the Muckdogs in the upcoming future. Again, a reminder, the final game, July 25th, against Niagara Falls Americans. There will be fireworks and everything that Friday. Make sure you buy your tickets and start by for the regular season finale then. But we have a long time coming, only 10 days, but still a long time, and we're going to get through every game individually, and we'll turn our attention back here to the top of the 6th. Leading things off for the Muckdogs is number 20, Glenn Brooks. As we do have another pitching change. I was able to realize that from the right-handed pitcher compared to Nate Muncy. It's Santino Musone. That's fouled off for strike one. But again, Santino Musone comes in for Nate Muncy. We'll look at how Nate Muncy's day came to an end, as that's in for strike two. Nate Muncy servicing 2 innings, allowing 2 hits, 1 run, that being an earned run. 1 batter walked, 1 strikeout across 8 batters faced, and 31 total pitches. Musone coming in his place. As that's dribbled back to Musone off the mound, a weird angle, and loses it is Enders. Enders knocked over like a bowling pin. Glenn Brooks will reach first base off that. That one did take a weird hop off the mound and changed its trajectory, but Enders seemed to be in front of it, and when the ball hit him, I guess it was enough to knock him over. As Glenn Brooks goes tumbling, or reaching first as Jackson Enders goes tumbling. But again, 1-1 on as Brooks in first base. Number 16, James Quintero up the bat. He will foul off the first pitch. Not seen anything like that, but that's again going down as an error against Jamestown. So following the foul ball, it's ball 1 for Quintero, who's got out on a fielder's choice and then a ground out back to the pitcher in his last at bat. As that's a ball, obviously hitting down in the dirt in front of home plate. And Musone, if we look at his stats, it's going to be a very similar trend that I've been trying to tell you all night long. It's actually, no, correction, I missed over it. Santino Musone, a 5.23 ERA. Finally, a pitcher that does have some stats. He's got a 6-0 record as a pickoff attempt gets away from Nolan Smith covering first base, but a 6-0 record across 10 appearances, 20 and 2/3 innings pitched, allowing 20 hits, 14 runs, 12 of those being earned, 19 batters walked, and 22 strikeouts. So the second pitcher, per se, for the Jamestown, as they've been putting in positional players, as that's driven to right field and caught for the first out. C.J. Dugan on the play as it brings up extra hitter number 8, Miles Manel. Excuse me, lost connection with the microphone there just for a second. 1-1 count. Again, Miles Manel, a fly out to center and a fly out straight to Enders at short. His last 2 at bats. Outside, it moves the count 1-1. Deals home, dribbled back to the pitcher, play at first and second in time, the play at first in time. The double play for the first time for Jamestown. A key one there, that one close over at the first base bag, but called out. So that brings an end to the top of the 6th, no score. Santino able to make a play himself, throwing it on a 1-5-3. Brings an end to the top of the 6th, bottom of the 6th, right around the corner when we come back.
In support of the Batavia Muckdogs, we would like to thank these corporate sponsors and community partners. Alex's Place, Allegheny Farm Services, Amerigroup, Arc of Glow, Ashley Furniture, Batavia Downs, Batavia Foot Care Center, Batavia's Original, Best Choice Heating and Air, Bikers Against Child Abuse, Von Traeger Auctioneer, Bourbon and Burger, Bright Path Kids, Bully Hill Vineyards, Burger King, Casella Waste, Salino Plumbing, Chaplin Valley Equipment, Council Rock Wealth Advisory Group, Crosby's, Daily News, Dave's Ice Cream, Easttown Beverage, Eli Fish Brewing Company, Everdry Waterproofing, Farm Credit East, Burrell Gas, Ficarella's Pizza, Frank's Call Mr. Plumber, Freed Maxick, Genesee Community College, Geico, Local Batavia Office, Genesee County Chamber of Commerce, Genesee Lumber, Genesee Penny Saver, Go Health, Good Life, Graham Corporation, H.B. Hood, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, J. Leonard McAndrew Funeral Home, Ken Barrett Chevrolet, Leaf Guard, Liberty Pumps, Louis J. Lang and Sons, Massive Testing, Mental Health Association of Genesee and Orleans, Magaveros Automotive, M-Power Agency, Next Era Energy, Northside Deli, New York School for the Blind, Oak Orchard Health, Oakwood Hills, Oaka Milk Products, Olacy's, Overhead Door, PNCG, Pellegrino Auto Sales, RFG Associates, Skyworks, Stan's Harley Davidson, Stop DWI, Suburban Propane, TF Browns, Tompkins Bank of Castile, Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union, Toyota of Batavia, Trevor R. Rowley State Farm, Tri-County Auto Glass, Tully's, United Memorial Medical Center, UR Wilmot Cancer Institute, WBTA, Wright Beverage, and the YMCA. Thank you for your continued support of the Batavia Muckdogs.
First pitch is going to swing down. It's foul. Up to bat for Jamestown with an 0-1 count. Following that is number 38, third baseman Caleb Jordan. Again, Woodley still out there on the mound. As Jordan went swinging, got a good piece of that. You will get a little piece of that. It's foul in play, but not able to make a play on it. So 0-2. Again, I do appreciate your patience with me for this broadcast. Trying to run a one-man show. But 0-2, and a correction on my last statement for the defense for Jamestown is it was a 1-6-3, as that's a ball that gets away from Rumchinsky. It's ball one. No impact as no one's on. 1-6-3 from the correction I said of a 1-5-3 for Jamestown first double play of the night. Woodley, coming into this at bat, only had 58 total pitches. As that's dribbled over to Russell, he's able to close the gap and get the toss for the first put out here. So no, now it's updated, but 62 total pitches on the day for Woodley. Just try to get that number through. 62 across 17 batters faced. And he's still going. The one time he gets a starting nod, he is doing it well. As that's in for a strike one, as number 32 catcher Heath Fetchick is going down swinging. We got no Jarrett here tonight to answer your question, Sean. You got a day off. Won't go swinging is Fetchick. It's called ball one. And that's going down as Apologies for that. Quick little hiccups. We're back and ready, and it's going to go down as a hit by pitch for Fetchick. Off the elbow, he's all right. So he'll be awarded first base. Of course, I'll recap what we've got going on. Took me away from the game for a second. 1 out, hit by pitch, going against Heath Fetchick. That being only the second hit by pitch dealt from Woodley. It brings up shortstop number 7, Jackson Enders. A single in his last at bat. So he'll take strike 1 looking. A 1 count. An 0-2 count. Apologies. Got a bad case of the hiccups right now, and I'm just trying to not do that into the microphone. 0-2 count. Woodley set, delivers. Wow. That one's not going to be called strike 3, but instead ball 1 on the inside. So 1-2 count. 1 out. Fetchick stationed over on first base following the hit by pitch. Woodley deals home, swing and a miss, and add that to the strikeout total. That continues to grow as Enders goes down swinging. It brings up second baseman number 1, Tito Kiefer. Kiefer, another victim of the ground out double play, as he grounded out into a 5-3. Inman was right over on third base, just made the first out unassisted, and then able to beat out Kiefer running to first base on the toss to Quintero. The last man in the batting lineup is going as Fetchick. The throw from Rimchinsky a little high. Cooper Russell able to get up there and make sure that the ball doesn't go anywhere, but safe as Fetchick with a stolen base. As that went for ball 1 back at home plate. One count. Now standing on second is Fetchick. Only glancing over. Defense shifts back into position. Swing and a miss. 1-1. All 2 count. For correction, I guess I missed the call and back at home plate. It's 0-2. Now it's down low. So 1-2. But a correction on the 1-1 count, it was 0-2 and now 1-2. Set and ready. Deals home. Outside, 2-2. And no one in Batavia bullpen warming up. They got their players stationed down there, but no one's even up and moving. Only set. Cooper Russell behind second base bag. Won't go there, deals home. Driven to Vasquez. And interference by the player. It doesn't matter. So it looked like for a second, Fetchick was going to grab the ball and the umpire calling it. but makes the out at first, so it just makes the job a little easier. In the end, it's still 3 outs. If you want to call it 4, it doesn't matter. But the 6th inning comes to a conclusion here in Jamestown. It's 7-0 for the Muckdogs. And Jamestown, their chances are now dwindling a little away as Woodley is putting them in a stronghold. They haven't been able to get anything going. Only 3 hits. And you want to know a stat that's higher than those 3 hits is the Batavia Muckdogs' ability to get into double play situations. If they've recorded 4 double plays on defense against Jamestown, that's more than their 3 hits. Jamestown really struggling in both metrics, offense and defense. Batavia, they have the polar opposite situation. They've been thriving all game long. We'll step aside for the top of the 7th just after these few words from our sponsors. A message from Go Health New York. Has your child been tested for lead? The only way to know if your child has lead poisoning is to get them tested. All children should be tested at ages 1 and 2. Talk to your healthcare provider or the lead poisoning prevention staff from the Genesee County Health Department at 585-344-2580, extension 5555, about a blood lead test for your child today, or for more information on transportation to get tested. And a message from Mental Health Association. Wellness on the Go, WNGO offers mobile mental health supports through Medicaid managed care plans across Niagara, Genesee, and Orleans counties. For more information or to make a referral, call us at 585-345-0448. Luke Rimchinsky to lead off the top of the 7th for Batavia. As he steps back into the box, we're all set and ready. Musone again will pitch his 2nd inning. First pitch here is in for strike 1. Rimchinsky a ground out over to 2nd, and a strikeout on the full count. His last at bat. Outside, just missing the zone. He'll move it to a 1-1 count. Rimchinsky from Niagara, SUNY Niagara to be more specific. It's the hometown of Hamburg, New York, and that gets by Rimchinsky, able to get out of the way. Pushes the count 2-1. Two-one count. Won't find the zone as well again. It's 3-1. But Rimchinsky again said the story once. I'll say it again. Got called back to his college, so he departed from the Muckdogs roster just to be called up back again following the string of injuries to the catching rotation for the Muckdogs, as that's in for strike 2. But boy, are they glad, and any other Muckdog fan, to have Rimchinsky back in the lineup. Socorro and Romick have been sidelined for quite some time now. Payoff. And that's it down low in the dirt for ball 4. So Rimchinsky finally gets the good side of a full count situation. He struck out swinging in the last one, but he'll be awarded first base this time, and it brings up the last man in the batting order, Jaden Vasquez. A strikeout looking, and then a single in his last at bat, of which he was caught stealing. I wonder what Mad Dog is up to. All upstairs. From my guess for Mad Dog, well, I did take the photo over on our social media platform on Instagram to show the scene over at Dwyer Stadium. It's all orange as a pickoff attempt from the catcher. There will be no chance to apply the tag as Ramchinsky gets back in time, but a 2-0 count. That's all I know that he's been able to do so far today. So that is a good question on where or what Mad Dog is up to at this very moment. 2-0 count. Outside 3-0. Question baffles me to this very day. What is Mad Dog up to? But again, 3-0 count, back at the plate. We'll see if Vasquez gets the green light. And he won't. And it's, late call, strike one. But it will catch the outside part of the zone, and it's a 3-1 count. A little delay on the call there kind of had me thinking that was as well with Vasquez ball 4. But 3-1 fouled off, and now a full count situation. Full count. Send that over in a foul territory, but caught. It was still able to make a play on it. It was left fielder Anthony Tromer. So on the full count, he'll foul out. It brings an end to the third go-around in the batting lineup. So 1 out now for the Jamestown defense. And up to bat number 50, center fielder Jalen David. A fly out over to center, then a single. As there's a pickoff attempt over at first base. It's no good. Ramchinsky's still safe over there. And then a fly out in his last at bat over to left field. Showing bunt is David. Lays it down. A throw from Muson, beaming it. And got David. What a play from Muson going down on the throw. Equivalent to off the back foot. So quite literally was, but the bunt will advance from Chinsky, but it goes down as the second out. It brings up third baseman number 2, Jackson Inman. 0 for 1 on the day, a ground out over to first base, but he's been walked twice other than that. First pitch, up high for ball 1. Shifting back is the defense. Deals back home and a swing and a miss for Inman. It's a 1-1 count. One deals and has Inman swinging again. Count moving to 1-2. As Inman swinging again, won't connect, and a strikeout for Muson. Going against Inman, his first strikeout of the day, and the top of the 7th comes to a conclusion. So 1 runner left on, no runs scored, and no hits. Brings an end to the top of the 7th, the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if Batavia can keep things moving the right direction. And Eric Woodley, he's still out there for all of this. So if we look on his number of pitches That metric has come to a solid, if I can actually find where I wrote it down, but his number is at a total of 74 entering the bottom of the 7th. At this point, we'll see how long he can go into tonight's matchup. I can tell you there is some guys up and moving in the bullpen, but they don't seem to be too active on actually warming up, but just instead moving around. So I wouldn't be surprised if Woodley gets through this inning and eventually gets his name called, or if he wants to keep moving forward. With only 74 total pitches, it will be a question of how fast he can get through this inning to make that call, as he will take on the first batter for Jamestown. That'll be number 2, Grant Moore. But again, right now in terms of scoreboard for the two teams, it's a 7-0 ball game. For Batavia's favor. So we're off and ready here for the bottom of the 7th. Here we go. Going against Grant Moore. It's their third go-round, as that's a little blooper over to left field. It'll get down the head of Vasquez and land in the shallow left field grass for the first hit. The leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 7th. It's the 4th hit for Jamestown on tonight, as there is a pinch hitter in for Eric Weeks. So in the position of the designated hitter spot, which Eric Weeks occupied, it's number 30, Jack Castillo. First pitch for Costello is strike 1. There's a pickoff attempt over at first, no good. Costello on the season, a .292 batting average across 24 plate appearances, recording 4 runs, 7 hits, 9 RBIs, and 8 total bases. Unique option to take off their 3rd best hitter, statistically speaking, replacement for pinch hitter Costello, as that goes foul and pushes count 0-2. As that's going foul up and over us, all the way out to the parking lot. Oh, 2 count. Woodley deals home just high, missing the zone. It's 1-2. I like that hypothetical, Cookie, but yeah, but 1-2. Deals home. A ball that gets away from Rynczynski, and advancing the second is Grant Moore. Down in the dirt in front of home plate, that pitch definitely got away from Woodley as well. Rynczynski wasn't ready for it. Stays in front of it, but the ball takes a hook and a bounce off his gear towards the right side, and Chinsky able to locate it but not get to it in time. Grant Moore now standing on second with the count 2-2. Woodley deals home up the 2-2 fouled off. The bat will stay alive. Woodley set. Vasquez a little shift. Fake. He goes back into position. Deals right over to first. Quintero scoop and will make the unassisted play by himself at first base. It will advance Grant Moore to third, but one out. So it brings up first baseman number 14, Nolan Smith. Smith on the day, 0 for 1. A walk off a full count and then a ground out into a double play. The third one for Jamestown. That one being a 1-6-3. That's the first pitch within the zone for strike one. I don't know how well you can see it on camera here. There's a little bit more haze moving in. Could tell you that from the start. Well, 0-1, swing and a miss. Smith liked what he saw, went for everything he's got on that pitch, but did not connect. 0-2. Woodley trying to add another strikeout to his total. Oh, 2, one out. Woodley set, deals home. And it's ball one down in the dirt. So a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 is just too high. Barely missing the zone 2-2. No, I can't tell, Grayson. Can you describe? I mean, it's just more haze. I don't know how really to describe haze except for, you know, more cloudy. 2-2. And just low of the zone, full count. I guess you could say more smog. I don't know, whatever term you would like to use in that interchangeable sentence. Full count. Payoff. Wow. I don't know about that one, but that's ball four. A lot of calls that just couldn't get it in. First one in the dirt, the second one just high, third one down low, and ball four. I'm not exactly sure where that one missed, but a walk will grant a long at bat for Nolan Smith. First base brings up left fielder number 11, Anthony Trummer. Getting underneath it, just over the head, over to right field. It'll bring in the first run for Jamestown. An RBI single off the first pitch for Tromer. So it's 7-1 now with 2 on for Jamestown. It's 1 out. And Woodley now will go head-to-head against extra hitter number 19, Jaquin Rodriguez Costa. Costa 0 for 2 on the day, a ground out back to Woodley. Woodley stepping off. And then a ground out into a double play, a 4-6-3. See if Costa can find his first hit, but the first pitch, ball 1 outside. As there now is officially a pitcher for Batavia warming up. Far end of your screen over on the right side. I'll get you a name and number in just a second. But 1-0 count. As getting underneath that is Rodrigo Costa. I've lost the ball in the smog here. All the way to center. A lot of hang time. Jalen David throwing it in and held up at second. As that ball could have made it a close play. But a fly out from Rodrigo Costa to center field makes it 2 outs. So right fielder number 39, C.J. Dugan up to bat, a ground out over to short, and then a strikeout. 0 for 2. He's got a 2-out situation, 2 on. This time called by Rumchinsky. He wants to talk things over with Woodley. From what I can see right now from out there in the bullpen, I believe that is number 12, Jake Sliz, that they had warming up. As well as number 15, Garrett Beaver, who's now up and moving. 2-out swing and a miss on the first pitch. So an 0-1 count. Driving it foul, it's now 0-2. So Woodley, after letting up his first run of the game, trying to ensure that no more damage is done, and he's got one more strike to finish that off. 0-2 count. The 0-2 pitch is just too high. 1-2. One, two. Getting underneath it over to center. Again, I lost this in the smog, but Jalen David, he didn't lose it. Tracks it down for the third and final out. And the top of the 7th and the bottom of the 7th, for correction, is all over. So 7-1 is your score. Jamestown Tarp Skunks finally on the board. But for now, the Tarp Skunks are not breathing down the Muckdogs' necks, as there's only 2 more innings left to go. And it's a question of Jamestown can fight back into this game. We've seen it before for Jamestown. But they really still have plenty of work to do if they want to try to generate another possible comeback. Mousson will remain on the mound for the Tarp Skunks. As on the day for Mousson, he's the fourth pitcher. He's already fulfilled 2 innings. He's not allowed any more runs since he's come in, but with only 1 strikeout across 7 batters faced and a total of 27 pitches. On the other hand, this wrap-up of the 7th inning, Eric Woodley's total pitch count has reached 95, so his day most likely coming to an end. As said, I did see Jake Sliz moving around, but now in replacement is Garrett Beaver. So maybe a last-minute decision to change up who they're bringing in. It's just over to your right. Skip's talking things over with his players. That's Woodley, I presume. Nope, it's Inman. I got the wrong number. So never mind that. Thought maybe Woodley was trying to plead his case to keep on moving forward. But no, I would presume his day has come to a conclusion with Beaver up and moving. But never mind the bullpen and the dugouts. We'll turn our attention back to home plate. Leading things off is number 11, Evan Brock. Evan Brock, 1 of 2 on the day, hit by a pitch, and then a fly out over to right, and then a double that he reached all the way to the wall over in left field, just a few feet away from being a home run. Here in a very deep Jamestown stadium. Over in center, it's 414, right 342, and left, it's the closest, but still 325. Ball 1, as that's dribbled over to third baseman Caleb Jordan and makes the put out with Nolan Smith for the first out. So ground out over to third. It brings up right fielder Braden Reyna up to bat. Reyna, 2 of 3 on the day, started off with 2 singles and then an RBI sac fly in his last at bat. First pitch is ball 1. So 1-0 count as it stands right now. Deals home inside. Make that 2-0. Two, 2-1 count. No, Mad Dog, you're not muted. But 2-1. Inside 3-1. In terms of minigame events, they are playing Kevin. It's or Mad Dog. It's a mixture of a few things. Mini hot dog races, pillow fights on mattresses. The 3-1 is going foul up overhead. It's a full count. They played rolling a ball as closest to a bin as possible and then catching water balloons and a souvenir hat. That's what I got for you there. Full count payoff. It's too high. Give that a walk. And Reyna will take his base. So now up to bat, it's number 1, second baseman, also known as Superman, Cooper Russell. Cooper Russell is 0 for 1 on the day because he's been hit twice. The one at bat where he finally got to use his bat, he grounded out over to short. First pitch, ball 1. A 1-0 count, 1 out. Runner going, and forget that, a hit by pitch for Cooper Russell. Jeez. Third time he's been hit today. And that's another reason why he's Superman. He's just tanking baseball 1, 2, 3. Not only that, but he mostly got it from being able to defy gravity here in Jamestown. It's where he first was given the nickname, where he was just lunging across and making diving play after diving play and went 4 of 5. And that 15-5 win earlier in the season here at Jamestown. But 2 runners on, first and second, covered a fresh count and driven foul by Glenn Brooks. Glenn Brooks, 1 of 3 on the day, an RBI single in his first at-bat. As that's another hit by pitch off the numbers for Glenn Brooks, and he'll be given first base. The bases are now loaded for the Muckdogs. Last time we saw a bases loaded situation for Batavia, it's when they scored the 5 runs in the top of the first. But that's to the back of Glenn Brooks. As I was finishing my sentence, RBI single in his first at bat, a fly over to center, and reaching first off an error from Jackson Enders, the one where he knocked him over like a bowling pin. It brings up first baseman number 16, James Quintero. Bases loaded, 1 out. Quintero has not found a hit today. 0 for 3, out on the fielder's choice, a ground out back to the pitcher, and a fly out over to right. As Fetchik calls time and wants to talk things over with Mousson. Fresh count, again, 1 out, bases loaded. Excuse the lag there for a second. The first pitch, strike 1. So an 0-1 count. Mousson delivers. Swing and a miss for Quintero, 0-2. And the 0-2 is driven foul. Back to the backstop. We'll do it again. Trying not to leave runners on, as Batavia has done a good job of that. Only 4 runners left on all game. Besides that, it's a 7-1 lead. No 2 count, 1 out. Mousson delivers, and that's outside for ball 1. 1-2. One, 2 count, out by 2-2. Mousson delivers. Quintero won't swing. It's inside. A count that started 0-2. Quintero watching 3 go by, and they're all the right choices. It's a full count. A payoff pitch. Awaits Quintero. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Payoff. And it's ball 4 upstairs, and we'll walk everyone and make this an 8-1 ball game. The lead back to 7 runs, as that's how the first run was brought in for this game. except it was a hit by pitch to be more clerical, but this time a walk brings in one more run. 8-1 is your score. Extra hitter number 8, Miles Manel. Up to bat, and first pitch, he'll go swinging. Won't connect, 0-1. So again, over on third is now Cooper Russell, second Glenn Brooks, and first James Quintero. That's a ball down low. Just missing the zone. 1-1 count. Again, down low. 2-1. So now, with the start for this inning, is the longest lasting pitcher for Jamestown this game. As Manel gets underneath it, it's over to right, shallow. We'll see if we have a tag up from Russell. We do. He's going home. The throw to home plate cut off by Mousson. No, lets it go by, and it won't matter. A throw to second, and Glenn Brooks wasn't aware what was going on. They got Glenn Brooks on a tag, and that brings an end. So a run will score, but Jamestown will get an unexpected out as the catcher saw Glenn Brooks slowly moving back to second base and was able to throw him out. Jamestown defense sticks with it and gets an unexpected double play. But that will bring an end. The run will count, though, from Russell. It's 9-1. The lead is now to its longest point, 8 runs, as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And we'll stay on air for this one as well, and it's going to be a topic of just overlooking the rest of today's matchups and what's going on around the league. If we look right now, over in the East, it's the Utica Blue Sox taking home a win in 7 innings, 13-2 against the Oneonta Outlaws. In the top of the 7th is the Saugerties Stallions winning 15-1 against the Glen Falls Dragons. And then also in the East, the Amsterdam Mohawks winning 8-1 against the Boonville Lumberjacks. A postponed matchup against the Doubledays and the Ironbacks in Niagara due to the wildfires and the smoke all the way up in Canada. And a matchup that has not been updated is the Newark Pilots and Geneva Red Wings, so I'm going to assume that matchup is postponed to my knowledge. But again, I'll steer clear from just trying to play guessing games, and I'm not exactly sure what's gone on over there, but I wouldn't be surprised if that game is as well postponed due to the smog. But on the topic of schedule and who's going around, I was going to just show you the standings, but I will hold off on that. Is coming up to pitch for Batavia is Jake Sliz. So Woodley's day will come to an end, heading to the bottom of the 8th. So we'll take just a second to look through Eric Woodley's stats. At the bottom of the 8th, the lead now up to 8 runs as it's a 9-1 ball game. Check swinging, but it doesn't matter. It's still strike one. Sliz's first batter to go against is number 38, Caleb Jordan. Caleb Jordan 0 for 2 on the day. A strikeout swing and a ground out over to second. So he fouls that one off and moves the count 0-2. But Eric Woodley's day coming to an end. In his final stats, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 1 run, that being an earned run, 2 batters walked, 4 strikeouts across 26 batters faced, and 95 total pitches. So that's ball 1, 1-2. Oh, good call there on the correction for Glenn Brooks. I missaw that. It was Jeremy Ramos coming in to pinch run for Glenn Brooks on his move back to second, who was then caught in the middle. But drop strike 3 for Caleb Jordan, where Sliz's first opponent brings up the first out. So right now we do have some technical difficulties with the camera cutting out. We'll try to boot that back up. So that's not the last thing I need. And we're back. Right in time for the first pitch. It's ball 1. Apologies for that. A little count out doesn't hurt no one. It's ball 1, 1 out. And strike 1. So apologies for my mistake earlier. It was not Glenn Brooks. It was Jeremy Ramos who came in to pinch run for Glenn Brooks after Brooks was hit by pitch. And Ramos then was caught over at second. Please be patient with the camera. It's just warming back up. Apologies for that. Should be up and running for good after this point. But Heath Fetchick up to bat, the catcher, number 32, a strikeout and a hit by pitch in his first 2 plate appearances. That's ball outside. So 2-2 count. On 2-2 will be fouled off. So we'll do it again. Rinse and repeat the 2-2 count. Again, appreciate your patience with me tonight. Running it as a one-man crew. Two-two deal from Sliz outside. It'll reach a full count. We'll see if Sliz can win the full count here. Payoff from Sliz. Driven from Fetchick to center. Jalen David closing the gap, and he will. A fly out from Fetchick brings up the second out. So on that note, we'll take a moment. We never went through it, but we'll look at the stats for Sliz. Sliz coming into today with an ERA of a 3.04, a 2.0 record across 7 appearances, 6 starts. 26 2/3 innings pitched, allowing 19 hits, 14 runs, none of those being earned, 18 batters walked, and 40 strikeouts, second in the team. Ball 1 upstairs. And the check swing is the call. He went on it. It's 1-1. And time called by Jackson Enders. Enders 1 of 2 on the day, a single and a strikeout. Enders also error on defense. It's ball up high. Can't pin that in the top right. Rubchinski, a good snag there. 2-1 count. Slizette delivers. And inside, 3-1. Sliz set. Sliz delivers, and it's fouled off. Pushes count full as ill-timed someone's car horn going off. That one would have gotten me. That was right when Sliz was in his windup. But it doesn't affect him, as Enders does foul it off and pushes it to another full count. Payoff pitch for Sliz. Delivers inside ball 4. Enders will be given first base. So the walk on the 2 outs brings up second baseman number 1, Tito Kiefer. Last man in the batting lineup. Kiefer was the victim of the second ground out double play. Then since then, ground out into shortstop. Sliz deals just too low, ball 1. One-0 count, inside 2-0. The last time we saw Sliz, you don't have to go too far back, so you don't have to do that for a lot of pitchers. Again, as mentioned before, it's just trying to make sure no one's straining themselves, and by doing so, we've seen multiple games with 5 or more pitchers being shown. As we've only seen 2 today, as Woodley got his first start, and he did his job going a full 7 innings. The foul off pushes the count 2-1. But of course, the last time we saw Sliz, he had the starting nod against the Elmira Pioneers in their comeback win, 7-6, July 11th. In that, served a full 3 1/3 innings, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those being earned. 3 batters walked and 4 strikeouts, as that's fouled off and pushes count 2-2. Sliz staring down at first, doesn't go, and delivers home. And it's inside down low for ball 3. Full count once again for Sliz. It's back-to-back-to-back full counts for Sliz. And that's the situation he had in his last appearance against the Elmira game. He only went 3 1/3 innings, but he pitched nearly 80 total pitches that game, purely because he had such long at-bats, as that's fouled off. His Enders attempted to steal second. He'll have to go back. But in that game, he reached a more specific total, 83 total pitches across 18 batters faced. Payoff. It gets away from Rubchinski off his gear, and time called, as unfortunately the ball boy went to grab the ball, and he did make contact with it, so that will blow the play dead. As I was saying earlier about the backstop here at Jamestown, it's such a wide distance that a passed ball, if it gets away, can definitely lead to more than just one base for any runner. Zenders does take second. He almost went third as Rumchinsky was just getting to it. But again, the ball boy and bat boy getting away and will blow the play dead as Coach Grant talking things over with Sliz. As that did walk Kiefer over to first base. Again, 2 outs, 2 on for Jamestown, trying to avoid a similar story to the matchup last time we were in Jamestown, the 12-12 tie. Not saying it's likely, but again, that's why I always say never, and you want to ensure against an opponent like Jamestown that they can stay out of it, because Jamestown, we did see against the Auburn Doubledays back-to-back walk-offs in that doubleheader, including a 4-run comeback in the 5-4 victory in the bottom of the 7th in that game. But we're back to the top of the order, the 4th go-around here for Jamestown. It's Grant Moore, the center fielder, number 2. He's 2 of 3 on the day, ground out over to second, then 2 singles, and one of those he was caught stealing. So the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Sliz looking over at the runner at second. No one's covering. And punching that in the top right for strike 1. 1-1 count. One swing and a miss for Moore. Make that 1-2. Sliz set, deals it's up high. 2-2 count. Sliz deals the 2-2, getting underneath it in foul territory and out of play. As Grant Moore, so we'll do it again. Two count, pitch upstairs, full count for Sliz. Another situation where he's reached full count. That's 4 at-bats in a row. He has a strikeout to his name, but in those 4 at-bats, the 4 full counts, should I say, he's not recorded a strikeout. Payoff. Swing and a miss, and he finally gets what I said. A strikeout for Sliz. Brings an end to the bottom of the 8th. No runs scored. It's 9-1 with one more chance for the Tarp Skunks to climb back in a deep hole. They're down 8 as it comes down to its final conclusion with 6 more outs to go. 3 for Batavia and 3 for Jamestown, and that'll be all she wrote. But when we come back, we'll see how it goes. So we have a pitching change here entering the top of the ninth. In for Santino Musone is Colton McCall. And we'll look at how Musone's day came to a conclusion. So statistically speaking, Musone's day comes to an end after 3 innings pitched, allowing 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 of those being earned, 3 batters walked, 1 strikeout, across 13 batters faced, and a total pitch count of 50. Again, McCall will be the 5th pitcher called up, pun intended, for Jamestown. McCall does not have any, Colton McCall does have stats. 27 ERA flat. This is his 4th appearance. 2 2/3 innings pitched under his belt, allowing 5 hits, 9 runs, 8 of those being earned, 7 strikeouts, and 7 walks, and only 1 strikeout. As that's outside for the first batter he will face. It's Luke Rimchinsky. So we'll get all this stuff out of the way for you. Let's count 2-0 for Rimchinsky. I saw out there that they pulled a lot of their guys from the bullpen, except they sent down one name, Jackson Reed, and a few others. So most likely we'll see Jackson Reed getting the closing nod for Batavia, as that's strike 1. Make that strike 2 for Rimchinsky. Chinsky 0 for 2 on the day, a ground out over to second. Full count situation, which he struck out swinging, and then another full count situation. This time he was walked. The 2-2, it's up high. Make that full count. So in search of his 2nd career strikeout for this season, full count, payoff, and inside for ball 4. A walk Rimchinsky for a 2nd time today. And it brings up number 4, Jaden Vasquez. Vasquez, 1 of 3 on the day. A strikeout looking, a single, and then a flyout. Foul territory in his last at bat. Take a swing on the first one. It's going foul. The Muckdogs put up 2 more runs in the last inning. In the inning, they did have bases loaded, and the walk, the hit by pitch going against Cooper Russell did help to bring in the first one. It's a 1-1 count. Fouled off, make that 1-2. One, two. And has Vasquez looking. It gets away from Fatchik, and Rimchinsky able to take second. So Rimchinsky stealing second off the passed ball. And then looking with a strikeout is Vasquez. So center fielder number 50, Jalen David. We're back to the top of the order for the 5th go-round. He's up to bat. David, only 1 hit on the day. A single. Other than that, a fly over to center, fly over to left, and a ground up from a bunt attempt back to the pitcher. But you could not beat out the throw there. Ball up high. For a 1-0 count. Fouled off by Jalen David on a play. We'll make that 1-1. Am I flying solo today? Yes, I am, Sean. The 1-1 pitch fouled off. Up high, and David went swinging at it, couldn't connect. Again, that 1-2. Checking the runner, Chinsky over at second. Jalen David lining that over to left field. It'll get down. Getting the signal home is Rumchinsky to throw from left field. Is not going to be in time and add one more for Batavia. It's 10-1 off this RBI single from Jalen David. Just lining that out to left field is all you really need after Rumchinsky took on second base after the wild pitch. The throw from Tromer did not have any arm underneath it to get to the catcher. Cut off by the pitcher. And by that time, Rumchinsky already was making it home. 1 out, and Inman will swing on the first pitch deep to left field, but trailing foul and out of play officially. Goes down as strike 1. Inman hasn't found a hit today. He's been walked twice other than that, but the 2 times he was a ground out to first, and then he struck out swinging. 0-1 count. As that's a ball in front of the Inman, in front of home plate as well. Was the count to 1-1. Pickoff attempt over at first, no good. Stealing home outside. 2-1 count. Inman getting underneath it. It will go foul and out of play. The count now 2-2. So waiting to see if David will try to test the pitcher and the catcher and steal second. Two, ripping that over to center field. It doesn't have a lot of trajectory, but still caught by Grant Moore. So 2 outs. From the flyout from Inman, David stays over at first base, and it brings up left fielder number 11, Evan Brock. Brock has 1 hit on the day. He's 1 of 3. Hit by pitch in his first at-bat, a flyout over to right, a double, and then a ground out over to third base. 2 outs, 1 on. We'll take ball 1 up high. Second pitch, no better. Still up high, moves the count 2-0. The 2-0 count will be the same thing. It's 3-0 now. 3 straight pitches up high. We'll see if we get the green light for Evan Brock. And you won't need it, as that's... Oof. Never mind. I thought that one was well up high, but no, it's called strike one. 3-1 count. Driven foul by Brock as Jalen David was going. So now what seemed like a free situation for Evan Brock has now reached a full count. Here's a real test. With 2 outs, 1 runner on, and just trying to make it through this inning. Payoff. Evan Brock lines that over to short. Play a second, not in time to play at first. The throw off the mark. The shortstop elected not to toss it to second. Try to beat Jalen David, and that's not an equation that you're ever going to like. Jalen David, in terms of beating out his throw and beating him out with his legs, you're not going to win either of those matchups, and for that, Enders loses that matchup as well. And at the same time, he cost himself from trying to make a play at first as he goes down, trying to step on the base, and the throw is just completely off the mark. So now 2 on for Batavia, and number 46 right fielder Braden Reyna up to bat. Situation that completely gets away from the Jamestown defense. So count now moves to 1-1. As that's in for strike 2, 1-2. One-two pitch, deals, and it's a bounce in front of home plate. 2-2 count. Two. And just high, it's another full count. Here for McCall. This time against Reyna. We'll see if bases are loaded or the inning comes to an end. One or the other, unless we get, option C. McCall deals, and it's up high. So you get option A, a walk. Bases are now loaded for the Muckdogs. Now to bat number 1, Cooper Russell. I still don't think you can see it on camera, but with the lights now on, you can see all this kind of smoke and smog in front of us, as that's inside for ball 1. You can also hear on all broadcasts all night long when it was dusk and there was kind of gray up in the sky. Lost the baseball every time it went up there. Strike 1, 1-1 count, and you can actually smell the smoke. Or at least I can. I feel like I can. Again, it could all be in my head, but I know that the fires are real. 1-1 count, fouled off. 1-2. Again, a reminder that we'd like to recognize the firefighters and the emergency crews battling the wildfires across Ontario and the U.S. Thank you for your courage and dedication. Our thoughts are with everyone affected. 1-2. Swing and a miss for Russell brings an end to the top of the ninth. 1 run scored for the Muckdogs with 3 runners left on, and it all rests on the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if Jamestown could do a remarkable comeback, but it's going to be tough given the fact of how the Batavia defense has played all night long. And it all rests to 3 more outs to give Batavia back the lead within the West Division and hold on to a series win. Again, Batavia came into today with a 3-2-1 record against Jamestown, and tonight would ensure that it's all said and done. We'll take a look at the standings as well. Updated standings that I've elected with a new graphic just to make sure I can fit in as well as the East come playoff time. I feel like it's good to know who we're going against. And closing now is Garrett Beaver. So we'll touch on Garrett Beaver's stats, but first we'll show you the standings. Batavia right now, half a game behind the Tarp Skunks for the lead in the West Division. They're 2 games behind the number 1 overall within the league against the Amsterdam Mohawks. The Mohawks, though, as of today, they're securing a win. But again, this is such a pivotal game to be able to control your own destiny. As with a win today, it's all in Muckdogs' hands just to be able to determine if they still hold that 1 seed when it's all said and done. The Mohawks, they're going to get a victory in the bottom of the ninth, 9-3 against the Lumberjacks as it stands right now. There's no other games within the West Division played as they've all been postponed due to the smoke and the air quality that's blanketed upstate New York, and a lot of other regions of the country. But as it stands, the Auburn Double A's, they still sit comfortably at 18-3. The Elmira Pioneers, they're now back at 500 and tied, in fact, with the Olean Oilers. The Oilers have won 5 straight and have fought back. So it's the Ironbacks, Oilers, and the Pioneers who seem to be fighting things out for the 4 spot. The Auburn Double A's, they're not totally cleared and safe and sound at the 3rd spot with only 2.5 games difference between the Pioneers and the Oilers. So it can change, but for now, it's tight race, but they still sit in 3rd. So we'll move that out of the way to see how Garrett Beaver closes things out for the Muckdogs. Just in time for the first pitch. Driven on a bloop over to short. Vasquez can't glove it in. And going to first. Now going to second. Held up actually over. He'll return back to first. But Vasquez trying to put the glove down and have the ball just land right in, and it won't listen to what he wants. Instead, Eric Weeks leading things off and getting onto first base. So in for strike 1, though. On 1 count. Going against number 14, Nolan Smith. It's ball outside. 1-1 count. Garrett Beaver has the best ERA on the team, a 1.19, a 2-0 record, 15 appearances, 2 saves registered, and 22 2/3 innings pitched. In those innings, he's allowed 12 hits, 3 runs, all 3 being earned, 5 batters walked, and 27 strikeouts. That's ball 2. It moves the count 2-1. Beaver glancing over at first base. And high flyer over to right. Will it stay fair? It will. All the way to the wall. Going second, now going home. No, held up at third is Costello. A correction, it was not Eric Weeks. Costello coming in for Eric Weeks in the last at-bat. Kind of forgot about that, but Jack Costello was reaching first off the error from Vasquez. It puts 2 on in scoring position for Jamestown. First and second and third are now covered by Tarp Skunks. No outs, a fresh count for number 11, Anthony Tromer. So again, to recap what you just missed, if you saw our stepped away. Reaching first off the error was Jack Costello, who came in to pinch hit for Eric Weeks earlier in this game. Nolan Smith, then a double all the way to the right field wall. As getting underneath that is Tromer. High flyer to center left. And caught by David. The tag up, though, brings in a run, and Costello will score. It's now 10-2 with one out. Staying at second, though, is Nolan Smith. So one out, following the fly out deep to center left. Jalen David on the snag. Brings up extra hitter number 19, Jaquin Rodriguez Costa. Driving that right over to center. It'll bring in one more run. And held up at first is Rodriguez Costa. It's now 10-3. So the Tarp Skunks getting a little flame underneath them. And they're trying to start a rally. They've already brought two in. This is now 10-3. And two hits already here in the bottom of the ninth. Now up to bat is the right fielder, number 39, C.J. Dugan. As that goes for strike one. Inside for ball one. And getting underneath a high flyer to shallow right. Cooper Russell closing the gap, calling off Quintero, and he makes the out. Two outs now. One more out, the 27th out away from bringing it to an end for this entire game. As the first pitch is ball one. Make that strike one now, 1-1 count. One man on over at first, two outs, a 1-1 count for Caleb Jordan down in the dirt for 2-1 count. Two one. Just too low, and a 3-1 count. You're set. Can't get it high enough on the sidearm. It's ball four and a walk. He'll put two runners on for the Tarp Skunks. Now to bat catcher, number 32, Heath Fetchick. Fetchick hasn't had a hit all day. 0 of 2, a strikeout swing and a hit by pitch and then a fly out to center field. As he won't go swinging, moves the hips but not the bat. Nonetheless, it's strike one, 0-1 count. Outside ball 1-1 count. One and one, it's down in the dirt, moves the count 2-1. Dribbled and just foul. Stayed fair off the balance, but ended up being collected foul territory by Inman. It's a 2-2 count. Beaver one strike away from wrapping this up and giving Batavia a huge win at the end of the regular season, as this would give back first place for the Muckdogs. Two. Fouled off, we'll do it again. Rinse and repeat. Long time coming, Beaver set though. Dill. Ball 3, down in the dirt. Full count now. Full count. Inside ball 4. And bases are now loaded for the Tarp Skunks. Number 7, Jackson Enders up to the plate. As the walk to Fetchick again loads the bases. That's ball down low. 1-0 count. And Remchinsky coming out to talk with Garrett Beaver. Just trying to bring an end to this game where it stands 10-3 and keep it in a comfortable distance. As with bases loaded, it's still questionable how this game could end. It's still favorable for the Muckdogs, but of course, I always say never. So they've scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 9th. 1-0 count, Beaver deals. There he goes, back on track for strike 1. Inside, make that 2-1. Driven over to short. Vasquez collects. Underhand toss to Cooper Russell. Gets the final out. There it is at second base. The final score 10-7 between the two teams. And it's all over. Batavia comes into Jamestown and gets the win on the road. A huge one here in terms of everything. They win the regular season series now 4-2-1 against the Tarp Skunks. And they have control and fate of the West Division back in their hands as they jump over the Tarp Skunks back into the 1 spot following tonight's win. But as it stands, Batavia will have to resume and win out the rest of their games if they want to stick it, or if any times Jamestown loses, then they have that grace period, but at the same time, it's all on them to finish it out and stay in control following tonight's victory. 10-3 is how they get it done. Hard fought battle all the way through, but it was the jump start from Batavia early on, the 5 runs in the top of the first, which really gave them control, and they never looked back for a second. With that, Batavia will jump to a record of 25-8-1, and on the other side, Jamestown will fall to a 24-8-2. So again, I thank you folks for joining tonight's broadcast here. We'll, before sign off, do our regular schedule, take you through what's coming up for the Muckdogs, but I thank you for joining our broadcast and your patience for me on the solo ride that you've got to enjoy here in Jamestown. But here's your schedule. Tomorrow at Olean, then versus Olean at home for Thursday and Friday. For the weekend at Elmira starting at 6:30 and versus Niagara Ironbacks at 4:05. A day off for the guys, then on Tuesday resuming until the end of the season. Tuesday versus Newark, then at Auburn at 6:30, then bringing Auburn back on Thursday. That's your next week worth of Batavia Muckdogs baseball. But again, final score 10-3. My name's been Grayson Natali. I thank you for joining tonight's broadcast. And stay tuned to our social media. Not sure how tomorrow will look in terms of playing conditions with, I guess, again, the ongoing fires and the smoke that keeps covering and blanketing upstate New York. So please pay attention to our social media to see if our game is on and ready to go. But for the time being, again, thank you for joining our broadcast. My name is Grayson Natali. Everyone, have a good night.